I grew up in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, born and raised. I lived in a tenement building, and it really was like living amongst your family. Even though no one in my building was related, we were such a tight-knit community. All of my family grew up in that neighborhood, so I really could not walk down any street, down any corner without seeing someone who I was related to. And my dad was a super strict father. But it was those things that when I was younger I hated, because I had to always be with my sister, but it also forced us to form this unbreakable bond.
Can you tell us about the Latina Oprah?
Okay, good. I love this, yes, because people hate it. If people hate it, I call myself the Latina Oprah. So we starting or we good? The Latina Oprah, aka Nancy Ruffin. Oh my gosh, people hate that I have the audacity to call myself the Latina Oprah. That's their problem, right? You have to have the highest vision for yourself and for your life in order to achieve that. And so for me, with the work that I do, the way that I see myself on the level bigger than actually Oprah, because she is that visual representation of how I want to live my life. When you learn to operate from that perspective, it's really easy to not let hate or perceived hate affect you, because it has nothing to do with me, who I am, or the work that I do. I host a number of workshops. And the reason for me that this work is important is because I find a lot of times women do have dreams, they do have goals, but they just don't know where to start. They don't know when and where they need to ask for help, and what they want their lives to look like, and what they have to do in order to get there. You have to have a roadmap on how to get there. Because if you don't have that plan, it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to get lost or confused or sidetracked. So my workshops are really centered on helping women get clear on the goals that they say they want, and then helping them create a plan. Not only have they worked on goals that matter to them, but they've actually accomplished them. The only request that I ever have for anyone that attends my workshop is, as you learn, as you grow, you pay that forward in some way. Back in 2011, I was working with an amazing woman, Meriam Rodriguez. She is the founder of the De Almas Institute. And I spent an entire year working with her just on kind of channeling back or reconnecting with spirit. Because what I found during my motherhood journey was that I somehow had disconnected from God, from who I was. And there was a lot of healing that I had to do because of a lot of the things that we tend to carry with ourselves from childhood, things we don't even realize that we're carrying, that really contributes to who we are, how we see ourselves in the world. And sometimes we put a lot of unnecessary pressure on ourselves because we feel like we have to be something other than who we are. So when I was doing the work with Gloria, there was an exercise that she had me do when I was trying to regain my faith in believing that I would one day become a mother. And she had told me, I want you to write a letter to yourself as if it was December 31st. What does that look like for you? What does the past year look like for you? What have you manifested? What does Nancy's life look like? This has been an amazing year for you. You set yourself on a path of creation, and create you did. This year you gave life to Nancy, the spoken word performer. You completed and published your first book of poetry and short stories, and gave life to Nancy, the author. I know it took a lot of soul searching and spiritual growth, but you let go of your doubts, fears, procrastination, and all of the resentment you harbored, and opened up yourself to the blessing that is me. This has been a long journey for the both of us, but this is only the beginning. And just promise to love me the way I already love you. Signed, your unborn child. And then it happened for me. the most beautiful blessing to this day has been my children. What God did for me is that he connected me to a community of women that were able to hold me up and support me through one of the most difficult times in my life. I felt as if I was inadequate because my body was not doing what it had been designed to do, and that was to hold life, to give life, and to be able to have a child. And that was a struggle for me. When I got connected to this group of women, the result of that experience was that I wanted to do that for someone else. And so that is what all of the work that I do is centered on. By me sharing my story and sharing it on a platform that brings and unites other women, all I want for them is to see themselves or see a bit of themselves in me and know that there's nothing that they can ever go through that they can't overcome or that they can't conquer. All of us have that power. You never know who your story is going to help, because we always feel like we're the only ones going through something, and the minute we share, we realize there's so many others that are dealing with the same thing in silence, and they don't have to. Writing is always going to be my first love. Writing is something I'm always going to do, and I'm actually writing or co-writing a book for someone right now. So my next project is going to be a collaborative project. I'm writing a leadership book based on someone's experience as a leader. So it's his voice, his stories. I'm just putting them in a book format. And then after that, I absolutely plan on writing more books. I do want to write fiction. I want to continue writing self-help books, personal development books. It's one of the subjects that I know best. But yeah, my goal is to be the Joel Osteen of books. Stay tuned. Teethy smile, you know, like, should I be serious? Let me know when you're ready.
Let me know when you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready? Okay, hold on. Let me get the giggles out. Wow, I just feel fabulous.